Welcome to week 5. This week we're going to look at graphing inequalities on a number line. So we've worked with inequalities, we work with number lines. Now we're going to put those two together and graph inequalities. Okay, so we're going to start using the variable x. And I know I talked to some of you guys. You've seen x before, but we're going to really start to use that. And we use a variable, in this case x, to represent an unknown value or a number we don't know yet. We can compare and graph a number to a variable using an inequality. Here's an example. We have x is greater than 3. I want you guys to think about what numbers could 3 be. So if x is greater than 3, some examples, x could be 4, x could be 100, x could be 25. X could almost be anything as long as it is greater than 3. So any number greater than 3 would work here. That's just kind of getting the ball rolling. In your notes, you have this table. I'd like you to copy down this table. This will be kind of our cheat sheet of what we're going to use. I know we haven't talked about graphing circles yet. That'll come into play later on. So just get it down for now and we'll talk about it. So again, we have our symbols. We have greater than and less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. As you notice, if it's greater than or less than, our graphing circle will be an open circle. And if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it'll be a closed circle. And what that means, an open circle means the number we're comparing is not a solution. And a closed circle is the number we're comparing is a solution. And the big thing there is because we can have equal to. And that equal to makes that number we compare a possible solution. So if you want to go ahead and pause the video now, make sure you have this table written down in the provided notes. Again, that was on the Word document. You can either print them out, write them in your notebook, or some of you have been doing a good job with typing in Word or using the pen like I do in PowerPoint and Word. You can do that as well. So again, pause the video and make sure you have this table down. And then as we move forward, you're going to need to keep a close eye on the open circle. Remember, that's for greater than or less than, and a closed circle, which is for the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. So we have examples. We have a couple inequalities, a couple phrases. What could x be, and then open or closed. So here we have x is greater than 5, so you can go ahead and write that term there. So x is blank 5. What could x be? Again, we have x is greater than 5. So that means x could be anything above 5. So it could be 6. It could be 10. It could be 12. Again, anything above 5. And your numbers don't have to match mine, but as long as you have anything above 5. Here, this inequality is blank, but it gives us the phrase. We have x is less than or equal to 17. So if I read that left to right, I want to put x, and then I have less than or equal to and 17. This case, I need something less than or equal to 17. So in this case, 17 could be an answer because 17 is equal to 17. But any other numbers have to be less than 17. So 16, let's use 5 again. And I don't know, maybe 2. And I just remembered I forgot our column, our open or closed. So in this case, we don't have an equal to, so 5 cannot be a solution. So we're going to have an open circle. And this one down here, we do have a less than or equal to. So this circle, I'm going to try my best with this pen tool here on our handy dandy PowerPoint. That'll be a closed circle. Good enough. Here we need our phrase. We have x is greater than 2. So again, x, you guys will fill in greater than, and we have 2. Again, possible solutions. We don't have an equal to, so this has to be anything above 2. I'm going to go ahead and put 3, I don't know, 7, 9, anything above 2. The last one, x is less than or equal to 100. Again, reading left to right, x is less than or equal to 100. Again, since we have that equal to part, one of our solutions could be 100. And then anything below, it could be 1, it could be 99, as long as it's below 100. And looking at our last two, open or closed, again, we did not have an equal to here, so that's going to be open. That tells us that 2 cannot be a solution. And then again, we have an equal to, as we did, and that will make it a closed circle. Awesome. Again, if you need to pause this video to write and fill in your table, please do so now, and then we'll be moving on. Alright, so now we're going to get into graphing and what that kind of looks like. So for our example problem, we're going to be graphing x is greater than 3. If you look on your note sheet, I have all the steps printed out and typed out, and I have a box on the side. I want you to go ahead and make this kind of diagram on the side, that box. That way you have your steps on one side and your kind of equation on the next. So yes, and that's step 1. Create your number line picture below with 3 tick marks. So good news is you only have to make 3 tick marks for these number lines. They're super simple. Yeah, so go ahead and make that in the box. Step 2, we're going to place the number in the equality on the middle tick mark. So our equality here is x is greater than 3. That's what we're working with. So we're going to put 3 in the middle, and then we're on the right, we're going to count one number above, and on the left, we're going to count one number below. So then, I don't know why it didn't work. 3, we have 4 is one number above, and 2 is one number below. Next step, we are going to draw a circle on the tick mark with the number we are comparing. And remember, if we have a greater than or less than, we're going to use an open circle. A greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, we're going to use a closed circle. In this instance here, we just have a greater than or less than, which means 3 is not a solution. So we're going to make an open circle. Your circle will always go on this middle number if you do this correctly. So remember, we're putting this number in the middle. So this 3 in the middle. And so your circle should always be in the middle, and we count one number up and one number back. Step 4, we're going to shade in the direction that would make it a true statement. What I mean by that is we're going to replace x with the numbers on the right and left, and whichever one true is where we're going to shade. So if I look over here, I would replace x with 2, and it would be 2 is greater than 3. And on this side, I would have 4 is greater than 3. Like I have there, as my pen kind of blocks it out. I'll go ahead and erase that for you guys. Whoops. Okay. So we have 2 is greater than 3 or 4 is greater than 3. Well, if we look back at our comparing numbers, you guys did pretty well with this, so we can all agree that 2 is greater than 3. That really doesn't make sense. Now, 4 is greater than 3. Yeah, right? I would rather have $4 than $3. So I know 4 is greater than 3. So in that case, I would go ahead and shade my number line to the 4 side. So what this is telling me is x is greater than 3. That means 3 is not a solution because our circle is open. And anything this way, any number to the right, which could be 4, 5 would follow. It could keep going, and we could be all the way out at 100 if we wanted to, is a possible solution that x right here could be, as long as it's greater than 3. So you're going to write your two statements, whichever one makes sense, you're going to shade that way. I think if I grab I'll erase all the pen. Here we are to fill in everything like I said. This is step 2, we put our numbers down. Step 3, we drew our circle. Step 4, we kind of looked at we wrote which one is true. 2 is greater than 3 or 4 is greater than 3. We figured out 4 is greater than 3, so we shade to the right. And I went ahead and color coded those with the steps. So make sure you have that down in your notes. And then this last part, I just want you guys to work through this graphing practice. This will conclude our notes. What I will do is I'll upload the work for this graphing practice on Wednesday's assignment list. Just make sure you have this completed before Wednesday. There will be a screenshot of the solutions for these 4 practice problems on Wednesday. Remember, please email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, something isn't working in Canvas or anything like that. Let me know and I'll get that fixed, or I can answer your questions if you have any.